How many times have we been listening to someone or know someone or even hear ourselves? Well, I'm sorry I'm late, but there's always an excuse. Well, I was gonna do that task, but we always have excuses. And I used to think that was a lot about just being full of yourself, nothing in else world matters except me. And but ever since Kathryn and I had that little talk the other day, and she talked about people who were late is because they didn't think they really mattered and being part. And I think that people who are always have a bunch of excuses and who are always apologizing, I think that's a sign that maybe they gave their power to someone or something else. They're letting somebody else drive their bus. And I wonder, I find myself being late is not one of my things, but I find other times, other aspects of life when I find that I was going to get that done on Tuesday, and I've always got excuses. How much of my power of controlling my own life, driving my own bus, have I given to fear or anxiety or maybe just being overwhelmed? I'm going to talk a lot about being in control, driving our own bus today. But I think when we hear somebody always come up with excuses, maybe instead of disdain, maybe we could show a little support. Maybe we could offer a little bit of kindness, a little reassurance that they have value, they have purpose, and we're glad they're part of our team. We're glad they're part of our family because they bring stuff to the party and maybe help them get back a little bit of their control as we all create our own tomorrows and todays. And so it is.
I got a cool new notebook.
Ooh,
I love new notebooks. Choose your hard. For the past year, I have been on again, off again, a plan to improve my health through learning to eat food that actually nourishes me, my body, and to move in ways that builds muscle and stamina. I have a coach that checks in with me every week, and more often if I want it. It has been quite a roller coaster ride for me emotionally. Until about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I found myself in a deep, dark depression. It took me about 3, maybe a little more weeks to dig myself out of it and find the sunshine again. I made several discoveries along the way. I found out that while I may love donuts, they don't love me back. In fact, they are really quite mean to me. They make me feel terrible, both physically and emotionally. I found out that in spite of all the positive affirmations and loving messages, I don't believe in spite of all the loving messages, if deep down underneath it all, I don't believe I am worthy of love, then I can't love myself. I belong to a Facebook group, that support group for people on my plan. A couple of weeks ago, my coach posted something I found to be quite profound. She said, "You have to choose your hard," in all caps. Take 30 days to give yourself a chance to finally prove to yourself that you can do it, that you're worth it, and start getting the results you want on the other side. It can be a difficult decision to make, but you might as well choose the hard that gets you the results you want. So I thought, it's time to choose a different hard. The hard I have been choosing is just making me feel terrible. It can't be any harder to choose a hard that I know from experience makes me feel way better physically and down the line better emotionally.
Kathryn, thank you. Are you sure you didn't listen as I was thinking about the talk today? It's just, wow. Thank you. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
We have the most beautifulest weather, and it's summer, and it's really, really nice. And we're not on fire or flooded either one. We're just beautiful and warm. So I think we give thanks for our fortunate plight in environment. This coming tomorrow night, Monday night, will be the 7 o'clock, the Spiritual Healing Circle, the Healing Circle. Okay, and I think Thursday will be the ladies' spiritual book study group at 10 a.m. in the hall, or 9:45, I think. Whatever, you know what time it is. And Saturday, 5 to 7, we're having Gas Money. Really cool band in the hall for the cabaret. And I hope you can all come and support these youngsters. It's just seeing young people going through buying equipment, and doing the lessons and doing the rehearsals and doing the gigs and schlepping all that stuff up and then tearing it all down. And I think it's wonderful that they are investing themselves into something that isn't this or a video game. I just think it's the arts, it's the passion within them. So I hope we can all come and support them. Sunday will be potluck, and then starting in July, the first week in July, that's 4th of July weekend, we all got stuff going on, but the second weekend, Saturday the 13th, we are going to have our 22nd annual pancake breakfast right here. Need people to show up on Saturday morning, starting at 6 o'clock. We serve from 8 till 10. And actually at 8 o'clock, Snoopy, I just talked to her yesterday, the lady, and Snoopy's gonna get here about 8 or 10 after 8 and be at our pancake breakfast. So that'll be cool if you know anybody with little kids, or if you'd like Snoopy yourself. We're gonna have photo ops for 2 hours, so that'll be a cool thing. Yes?
First or second Saturday?
The 13th.
13th.
The 13th, Saturday the 13th. And board meeting is passed on until the 21st. So, and the 14th, I'm taking a day off, and Mr. Thush is going to replace me valiantly, I'm sure. And my daughter's coming up from Las Vegas because she's a Snoopy person. She's going to help out with the Snoopy thing, and they got to go to the airport on Sunday, so I'm taking the day off. So, I wanted to share. A couple weeks ago was Father's Day, and I've been thinking a lot about my old man and things he told me. And I remember, I guess it was like 3 o'clock this morning. I was sitting there and thinking. And I remember when I was like 8 or 9. I always had big ears. I still got big ears, and they don't match. Kind of like Stephen Colbert. My ears never did. They're different. And my dad looked at me and said, "Boy, I sure hope your head grows and catches up with yours, because right now you look like an old Chevy with the doors open." Man of great wisdom. Well, anyway, are there any other announcements? Anything remind you to Give Barbara Callahan a call. Think about her and your thoughts and your prayers and your outreach and your energy. Anybody else that we ought to have on our minds? All right. Yes.
My friend Mel.
Mel? All right.
And
Just
Gail.
send Mel out some energy.
And Gail.
And Gail. And they can use some love and support right now. All right. I think we don't have a whole lot of people here today, but in this very room, we got everything we need for the whole rest of our lives, right here. Let's stand up and sing In This Very Room, number 22 in the songbook. Now we may greet each other in the traditional Church of the Oaks fashion.
Oh, there she is. There you go. Gene's hasn't gone through yet.
Take as long as you want. Sometimes it's amazing to me how everything, as we study and try to figure out the different mysteries of the unseen and all these things we call spiritual practices, how it kind of all ties together. It's like we are our abundance, we are our prosperity. And when we share our hugs and we share our smiles and we share our emails of encouragement. We're sharing our abundance. And when we become a member of Church of the Oaks, we've just got 4 things you gotta promise: to share your time, talent, thought, and your treasure. Those are the 4 areas of life that we spend most of our time and most of our efforts, and we have most of our assets, most of our abundance. And when we share our time and our talent and our thought and our treasure, we're keeping that flow from the divine flowing through us so that we can live healthier and happier and more enriched lives. So I'm just, let's read our affirmation of abundance. It's like singing to the choir when we talk about abundance. Gratitude is the key to the realization and manifestation of abundance. May we ponder that wisdom, sir. Thank you, Wayne. As we prepare ourselves for a time of meditation, let's sing together Only Believe, number 152 in the wings.
I'd like to start today's meditation with a poem from Mary Oliver. She writes, "Today I'm flying low and I'm not saying a word. I'm letting all the voodoos of ambition sleep. The world goes on as it must, the bees in the garden humming, little fish leaping, the gnats getting eaten, and so forth. But I am taking the day off, quiet as a feather. I hardly move, though really I'm traveling a terrific distance. Stillness, open the doors into the temple." I read this poem as a reminder of how we can travel into the stillness of our own temples. Meditation can, quote, open the doors into your temple. So let's quiet ourselves in the stillness and feel a warmth around you and within you that will take you to wherever you feel comfortable, to take you wherever you wish to go. So let's begin with slow, deep breaths and feel the stillness within you. As we close down, surround yourself with this light as God protects you throughout the day. And so it is.
Last week or the week before or something, I asked you about, did you get your little letter in the mail from our burning bowl service? And I asked how you're coming with that, and I saw a few smiles, and I think Wayne said 2 out of 3 ain't bad and stuff like that. But I'd like to talk about that a little more today. As long as I've been coming to this church, its purpose has been to find ideas, practices, thoughts that you might take home with you and adjust a little bit, that might allow you to change a little bit and adjust a little to enhance and enrich your life. And that's kind of what the burning bowl is, where you release what doesn't serve you anymore, the stuff that you've been thinking about throwing out but haven't. Well, that's your opportunity to release it. Burn it up. And then you've got space. So what would you like to see come into your life? What changes would you like to make? And that might enrich your life. And I found a new person about change. I used to like Wayne Dyer's approach to change, Marianne Williamson. People like, who's the guy, Tony Robbins or somebody, they do all that. But it's like, it's kind of a hustle thing. But I found a lady, and her name is Michelle Rosen, Dr. Michelle Rosen, R-O-Z-E-N. And she has podcasts, and she speaks and does TED Talks, and they call her the Change Doctor. And I heard about her about a year ago in 2023 because she did a test. And I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's all right. She did this test, a survey, all over the United States, when people did their New Year's resolutions on New Year's Eve in 2022. She had 1,000 people, and she followed them for 6 months. And that's when she started her, what she calls it, her 6% club. That out of those 1,000 people, 94% of them had dropped their resolutions, dropped their things they wanted to change by the 1st of February. And 6% were having various degrees of success in bringing about the changes and their achieving their goals of resolution. And she explained a couple things about why this is. We have, as human beings, we have our brains, and our brains kind of have a negativity bias. That's why we always listen to the bad news. That's why we always respond to the bad news and stuff. Because our brains, we are mammals, we are creatures, and our brains are designed to keep us safe. And over the time of our being, our brains have developed what we call a comfort zone. That's kind of a safe place for us to dwell and operate and make decisions in. No matter how miserable we are, we want to stay in our comfort zone. So this lady said that we make 35,000 decisions a day. Actually, our brain makes 34,975 decisions a day. We actually are involved physically and intentionally in a half a dozen maybe. And those decisions are based on staying within our comfort zone, not doing changes. We tried and true every day since we were born. Our brain has developed this comfort zone, the protection, doesn't like change, doesn't like to process anything more than the stuff it processes every day. That's why so many people, without taking charge of their thoughts and in charge of their brain, live the same life 73 years in a row. They live 1 or 2 years 70 times. And this 6% that were actually having success in their New Year's resolutions were people that were, she broke it down to like 3 reasons why they were having success. Number 1, they took charge of their brains. They stepped out of their comfort zone. And they said, I am going to work out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to do yoga every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm going to meditate every morning. And they meant it. And we all say, well, yeah, I'm going to the gym. I'm going to. No, it takes more than just a statement. You have to be very specific in what you're going to do. I'm going to the gym every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm setting my clock at 6. I'm going to show up there at 7. I'm going to go till 7:45, take a shower, and be home by 8:30 and start my day. Set your alarm, write it down, set your clock, set your computer, set your watch. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, up at 6 o'clock. You are achieving your goal. You are working hard to make that change you want to see. And you're very specific about how you're going to do that. And the other thing is that once you decide and get serious about taking control of your brain and going to do this something I'm going to change, then you have to change your what do you call it? The importance, your priority rating system. Is there anybody who finds himself just not busy at all? Just kind of sitting around? It seems like when we retire, we got all this time to sit around, know we're busier than we've ever been. Part of that, it takes us longer to do the stuff we used to do in half the time. If we prioritize, maybe we have a 0 to 10 priority rating. Okay, my playing 10 games of solitaire while I'm drinking 2 cups of coffee, that's probably a 0 or a 1. It's important I do that. That's the way I start my mornings. But is that important to bringing about the changes I want to see in my life? Is that important to the enrichment that I'm seeking for my life? No. But working out 3 days a week, doing yoga 2 days a week, having my meditation time every day, that's important. So they get like a 10 or a 9. And talking on the phone, checking my emails, that's a 2 or 3. We all got that stuff that we do. But I wonder if your life would change significantly if you didn't check your email tomorrow. Or if you didn't do your phone messages, or I wonder if Wednesday would come if tomorrow I didn't play solitaire. I'll bet it would. And I think that we get so carried away with doing stuff that we just don't have time to focus on the things that are really important in our lives. I think we could sit down and really think about things we really want to change, we're serious about changing in our life. And things that are just the same old, they're nice, they're comfortable, you know, checking my email, playing solitaire, you know, some people are into video games, playing video games, that's fine. Watching Dancing with the Stars, or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, or Bachelor, or Bachelorette. Those are entertainment, but what do they bring to the enrichment of your life? Or are they just an escape? I've thought about something 3 times when I was talking about something else, and it just goes away when I get to the end of what I'm talking. Anyway, but there's some things I think that we can do that might help us find a little more time for the things that are 8s, 9s, and 10s on our priority list. And one of those, and this is for me, and I'll share this with you, is when somebody said, hey, can you do this, or we need somebody to do that, stop saying no right that minute. Just, you might say, or I'm sorry, stop saying yes right that minute. Just say, you know, I agree, but let me think about it, and I'd like to make a decision like that when I'm fresh in the morning. I'll call you back tomorrow mid-morning and let you know. Take time to think how taking on one more thing, is that going to leave you time to do the 8s, 9s, and 10s in your life? And maybe you are asked to do something that is an 8, 9, or 10, and you are going to say yes. But some of us who like to feel needed and important just say yes all the time. And we wind up with this big backlog of stuff that we must, should, and ought do. But I got as long a list as anybody in here. And sometimes that list puts me in a place of overwhelm, where not only do I not do my 8s, 9s, and 10s, I don't do my 4s, 5s, or 3s. I sit home and play solitaire and think, man, I got so much to do. I just need a break. I'm overwhelmed. I'm burned out. And I think all of us could get there. Maybe we kind of take a little time and just kind of simplify some of the things we do in life. Don't always volunteer to say yes right away. And then the other thing that I think is really important, we make a New Year's resolution list, or we made our burning goal list. We put 8 things on the list. Well, for our brains to think about doing 8 new things, that's a lot. Our brains balk at doing 1 new thing. But when we decide to do a new thing, maybe just pick one of those things to start with. I'm just going to do yoga on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Make that a priority. Write it down. Give attention to that desire, to that change every single day. Set your alarm. Write it down. Reaffirm. That's something that's important. That's a new 10 on my list, is to do yoga every Tuesday and Thursday. And if you do that for 30 to 45 days, just like the poem for 30 days, it becomes kind of a habit. Your brain doesn't bulk at processing and making those decisions. So if you tell your brain that, I know we're going to find all kinds of excuses why we should just stay home and play solitaire and drink coffee, why we shouldn't go to yoga, But if you demand it and you take charge, you drive the bus to yoga every Tuesday and every Thursday for a month or 6 weeks, it'll just become commonplace. And it will be something that you have actually done the change. Your lifestyle has changed. Your life has actually been enriched a bit. And then next month, pick item number 2. I'm going to work out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Do the same thing. Well, maybe after 3 weeks, that didn't actually work out all that well, because we're human beings, and do yoga on Tuesday, Thursday, and Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Maybe that's okay. Maybe not all 10 things on that list you're going to accomplish. But if it didn't, don't stop. Pick number 3 the next month. And set your alarm, write it down, affirm it, write it down on your schedule, make it a number 10 or a number 9 on your priority list. And over the course of a year, just think, you might actually accomplish 8 or 9 of those 10 things you started the year with. And a very important thing about these changes that we endeavor to make in our lives, when we actually do have a bit of success, maybe it's not the whole 30 days yet, maybe it's just, but I've been doing this for a week, going to yoga every Tuesday and Thursday. Give yourself gratitude and praise that you have done such a good job of bringing about maybe a wonderful permanent change in your life. Give gratitude that you have the tenacity, the courage to actually take control of your brain and do things that you feel are important for your life, for the enrichment of your life. I can't think of anything that would be more self-satisfying for any one of us to know that we actually have the power and ability to make changes in our lives. Who was it? Was it Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world? That's a pretty big thing, but maybe one little step, one little item, one little idea every month. And maybe every month is bigger than what's the reality of what's going to happen. But maybe 6 or 7 months out of a year, you can make 7 changes or 6 changes. That's better than the 94% that have dropped them all by the 1st of February. Maybe you only got 3 changes done this year. But that's 3 things that enriched your life this year, that enriched the life of your family, that made life different and better. I thought once about letting go of the burning bowl, but I think it's a great symbol. It's a great practice that we can do every year and revisit this thing about changing, little step at a time. But if we don't put forth the effort to actually write it down, make it on our top priority list, not just if I get time, I'm going to not puff on any more cigars this month. If I get time, that's not going to happen. We have to work at it just like I want to learn how to play the bagpipes. It's not going to happen because I just want to do it one day and spend an hour. It's a practice. You work at it. If it's something you really want in your life, you work at it every day. And changes. We are meant to change. Our bodies are changing right now. They're different molecules in our body than when we walked in the door 40 minutes ago. We're different. And our little brains that want to protect us and keep us in our comfort zone, no matter how miserable we are while we're there, they don't want us to change much. They've got it figured out just where we are. But we can drive our own bus. We don't have to let anybody else or anything else create the value and the substance and the pattern of our lives. We can do that. Or not. We can let Fox News or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire run our lives. And isn't it odd how many people just don't think, they don't drive their bus. They surrender their power to whatever thing, person, idea, television program. But my friends, you've heard me say this before and before and before. We aren't the sheeps. We are free-thinking, creative human beings that are aware that we have God within us, the divine. And we have within us the power that created everything in this universe and keeps it all working together. And sometimes the only reason it doesn't work in that harmony, in that divine harmony, is because we let someone or something else drive our bus. I think that's something to ponder and think about. Did I leave anything out? Then Wayne, let's sing that song, Flow Spirits Flow, and go over and have some coffee. Have a lovely week, and we'll see you all next Saturday night so we can have the cabaret.
Where is this? There it is. I couldn't find it for a moment or two. It's too high, isn't it?